Greetings, my dear humans, this is Spino. Welcome to my kingdom, and welcome to another installment of Spino Reads, where I read some of the wildest, hottest, and most bizarre Reddit stories around. I'll be reading stories old and new, and give my thoughts on the situation at hand. Last week, I posted my first Reddit video, and while I did say that I'll make more if it does well, I'm gonna do that anyways, as my channel does need some variety around here, and the format could change from time to time. So I do apologize if you notice any changes in the future, but I do hope you enjoy what I have in store. So with all of that out of the way, let's get into the story. Please sit back, relax, grab a few grubs and a drink, and enjoy. Tonight's topic is r/entitled people. Tonight's story is, a man kicks a dog and snatches his food from him and ends up in an accident. I'm a 23-year-old female from a small town in India. I live in an apartment building beside the main road. Our apartment has a no pet policy, so even if I don't have any pets of my own, I love and care for the street dogs in my locality from the bottom of my heart. Each of them have their own names that I call them with, get regular food and medicines if needed, all from me, and I take much pride in them. They are the best dogs out there. The rest of the people in my apartment don't really care about the dogs or any street animals for that matter, even went as far as to create many problems for my beloved dogs. In the past, I have had many people objecting to me feeding the dogs, and even going as far as taking newborn puppies away somewhere so that they don't create a mess around the place. These stories I can share later if you guys want, but after me staying and continuing for more than 5 years, no one generally bothers me or my dogs, except for some ladies giving snarky looks or comments here and there. Another thing to note, dog foods here are very costly, so I give my dogs boiled rice and chicken pieces mixed together, so it is perfectly healthy for the dogs, and they love it. That sounds good. So, now on to the main story. Last night I was giving food to the dogs, as usual, and one of them, who I name Puku, means tiny in our language, came to get his food. Puku is a very helpful dog and has a habit of grabbing the packet of food with his mouth and carrying it to his favorite place, after which he sits down peacefully and tears open the packet to eat what's inside. So, like any other day, Puku carefully grabs the packet of food from my hand and starts to carry it to his favorite place. I was seeing him from a distance, keeping an eye on him until he sits down and starts eating. Now, from the corner of my eye, I saw a small girl, opposite of the street, seeing us the whole time. Me giving the food packet to the dog, him grabbing it with his mouth and carrying it away from me. She immediately turns to his dad, pointing her fingers at us and mumbling something to him in excitement. The dad looks at me, then to Puku carrying his food packet, and gets noticeably irritated. He hurriedly takes his daughter and goes inside a shop. I shrug and resume what I was doing, giving my other dogs food packets. A few minutes pass, and after giving the last dog her food packet, I sit on the bench waiting for the dogs to finish their food, when I hear footsteps and look up to see that the small girl and her dad coming towards me. The dad approaches me and says in a disgusted way, "Why are you wasting so much food? Don't you know there are people who can't afford to eat? You should not buy so much food if you don't eat it, and end up wasting it on animals." I was shocked by this man's word, as no one has really said something like this before. I have got complaints about the dogs making a mess with their food, ruining their surroundings, etc. But no one has come to me and told me how I should spend my money. I just replied, I don't really consider this wasting food, as the dogs need to eat too, just like any other animals, just like us. The man replied, "No, you shouldn't waste our food on useless animals instead of giving it to the poor people. I was teaching my daughter the value of food, and I don't want her to think it is okay to waste food on stupid animals." The man looked like he was doing such a right thing, teaching me and his daughter the value of food. I looked at his daughter now, behind him. She was sobbing and pulling her dad's arm to go home, but her dad was not paying any attention to her. I, still trying to reason with him, responded, I consider these dogs closer to me than any other man, and I am not wasting any food as I am giving it to someone who needs it and probably won't get it from anywhere else. Your daughter is not only going to learn the value of not wasting food, but also she will learn to love animals and care for them. Caring for the animals isn't anything wrong, as I feel it makes me a much better person when I see them happy. And sir, I am sorry, but you can't really tell me what to do with my money or my extra food. Hearing this, the dad gets very angry and starts violently shaking his head, as if I have given a very wrong answer. He yells, "Don't you dare tell me how to parent my daughter! She will learn what I teach her! Punks like you are the reason why kids don't listen to their parents these days. I bet your parents don't like you either. And if you don't do something about this, then I will have to." Before I could react, he kicks the dog away from his food, picks up the almost empty packet, and starts walking away, dragging his daughter, saying, "I'm gonna make sure this food is not wasted and give it to someone who actually needs it. I am going to teach my daughter to not waste her food." I, now fully realizing what the frick just happened, rushed over to the now whimpering dog, trying to calm him. He was not injured and soon started licking my hand and wagging his tail as normal. That is when I heard a crash and looked up to see the dad on the ground, arguing with a fellow person on a bicycle, saying things like, "Can't you watch where you're going?" and "You will pay for my injuries," etc. The daughter is standing beside, now crying loudly. I then see the people surrounding them over and pick up the dad, who seemed fine but still yelling at the poor guy. After a while of shouting all sorts of profanities at the poor guy, he was taken to the hospital by an ambulance with his daughter still crying. After he was gone, I asked the guy on the bicycle about what happened. So, after he kicked and snatched the food packet from my dog, he started walking away from me. When Puku saw him carrying my food packet and tried to stand on his leg and reach it, the man got startled and stepped back, crashing with the guy on the bicycle. Luckily, the guy pressed the brakes quick enough and the crash was just enough to push him onto the ground without any serious injuries. Talk about karma. Oh my god, what an asshole! Like, what is wrong with this guy? He really thought he was doing the right thing by teaching his daughter the value of food? Berating OP is bad enough, but hurting a defenseless animal and stealing their food? That is straight up animal abuse, plain and simple. He could have seriously hurt the poor dog. He should have gotten arrested for that, and I hope he did when he gets out of the hospital. At least no one got seriously hurt in the accident, but to be honest, that's what he gets for abusing animals. We don't take kindly to people like him. I do feel sorry for the daughter though. Children shouldn't have to grow up having entitled parents. I hope she's doing well, and I hope the dog is doing well too after being kicked by the father. At least he wasn't seriously injured. You did your best to reason with this idiot, OP. I don't blame you. I hope you and your dogs are doing well after that horrible encounter. Good luck to all of you, except for the father. And that should do it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this evening's installment of Spino Reads. And if you want more, please like, share, and subscribe, and click on the bell to be notified for future videos. Have you ever encountered an entitled person? Please share your experience in the comments. I'll be looking forward to reading them. And until we meet again, my dear humans, farewell.